Good question. My judging started through interest. I started penciling, looking and listening to judges. I went to lessons any time I could. I was breaking in and training my own carriage horses by now, and that's a journey, but I just kept immersing myself in it until and obviously downloaded packages off the carriage driving website and went through the process. So if there is anyone that would like to become a judge, then they need to, immerse themselves in it as well. Go to events, pencil, make yourself known, steward. Helps a lot. Watching YouTube, looking at it, analysing what's going on with the horses, how does that compare to the German training scale, etc. Tuning yourself in, I guess. But basically, make yourself known to the local state convener, invite yourself to pencil at local dressage days, and download that package and look at all the requirements involved and start ticking them off and gathering your information and evidence so that you can also become a judge. Well, when you're judging, you need to have a good look at the test and what the test is requiring of the horse and the driver to execute. So we're looking at the use of the arena. Are they following the correct pattern, basically? Look at the footfalls. Is the horse doing the correct pace that it's asked for? Are they bending correctly? Are they straight? Is there relaxation through the back and gullet? Is there what's the connection like between the driver and the horse? What's the engagement of the horse like and impulsion? And basically checking that against the directives and, seeing what the overall picture is. Is the horse resisting? Is it shaking its head or going above the bit, below the bit, or is it sitting nicely on the bit? All of those sort of things that we're looking for. The driver's position in the box as well. Are they niggling at the horse, or are they just asking the horse and the horse is doing as required? Probably judging is really the whole thing. Cart, horse, driver, connections. Well, one of the biggest things I've noticed when I'm judging is that perhaps people haven't really walked the arena and thought about it. You may well know your own arena at home, but this one might have a slight fall on it, or there might be something that looks like it's going to frighten the horse in some spot or something like that you need to counteract perhaps. So people that are unfamiliar with the arena, perhaps they don't drive accurately then. They might have late or early transitions. The horse has to be comfortable in the carriage, whether it's two or four-wheeler, with the bit and the harness and the contact. So if there's no cohesion there, that's where you can lose a lot of marks. If it's a two-wheel cart, check that it's balanced. A lot of the carriages are bouncing up and down, and you can see the horse going into a concentration, ready to go along, and next minute the cart's banging on its back and it's going, oh, hang on, I've got to concentrate. So if you can balance your cart, that makes a big difference. With a four-wheeler, usually they're okay, but occasionally you'll see one that's lifting its back wheels off the ground or doing something strange. The other thing is check your position in the box. Are you sitting up straight? Are you looking where you're going, or are you distracted? Are you dropping a hand? Have you got uneven hands? They're all easy ways to lose marks. I do remember a trainer saying once, if you can't get a straight line with two hands, use one hand up the centre line so that you're not going to pull back unevenly when you're coming through to the halt and skew your horse off to one side. So all of those things help if you can, and particularly harness fit is a thing. I know many of us have seen a situation where the breeching is so loose that the horse comes in with a nice steady trot, goes into the halt, and the cart shunts it up the back, and the poor horse takes a few steps forward. But if that's fitted correctly, then we don't get that sort of a shunting thing. We don't lose those marks. Yes, they need to practice the movements that are in their test. They need, not necessarily in the same order, but analyse what sort of transitions are in that test and practice them at home. It might be walk into halt from a trot. That's got two transitions in it, so trot to walk to halt. So you need to practice those and straighten, balancing your horse up to do it, but not necessarily in the arena. You can practice it anywhere. So just all of the things that are in your test, you need to practice. So if your horse has to canter off a mark and do a 40-metre circle, practice that. Not necessarily in the arena. Set up some cones, do it somewhere else, but you do need to practice all of the transitions and all of the aspects of that test. Yes, well, whenever you're working your horse, you should start with 5 to 10 minutes of just plain walking and loosening the horse up and getting your mind set. Then you need to practice up and downward transitions. You need to circle to the left and to the right. One good tip is don't get stuck on one rein. A lot of us have got uneven in our own body, so we tend to like turning one way more than the other. So don't let that happen to yourself. You need to practice both ways. You need to probably practice some lengthening. At some point do a bit of a rein back. Every horse is different. It might go from 20 to 45 minutes warm up. You need to work it out with your horse, but include all parts of the test. If there's collection, do a little bit of collection. If there's canter, do a bit of canter. Now that can be difficult. If you've got a large horse, as in my case sometimes, I've got to do canter and there's somebody with a little pony there, it's very difficult to negotiate that, but you need to actually include that in your warm-up before you do your test.